The topic of this movement snack is mobilizing the squat. So we'll begin with the feet together, heels off the floor, and just the fingertips down. From here, you'll extend your knees, drive the knees back, bring the hips up, bring the palms down if you can, and ideally you fully extend the legs. If you can't, just leave a little bit of bend in the knees, and if that's still impossible for you, you can stay on the fingertips. So we go into this position, a pike, and then come onto the fingertips as you drive the knees forward and allow the heels to come off the floor. Palms down, knees back, heels down, palms off, heels off, knees forward. If you have any injuries, you have any pain moving through this movement, then just reduce the range of motion. So you might not come all the way down here, you might not come all the way up. You just make the movement as small as it needs to be to avoid pain. Some degree of discomfort is okay. And if you're getting any clicking or creaking, it might be that just repeating this movement a few more times helps eliminate that discomfort by building up familiarity with the pattern. Okay, great. So next we'll come down into a flat-footed squat. The width of the squat is up to you. Whatever feels comfortable for you is fine. If this doesn't feel comfortable, if you can't get your heels down onto the floor, then you can elevate your heels using a book. Maybe you start with the Bible and then you work your way down to magazines, and eventually you'll be able to work from the floor. I'd rather you do that than just come up onto the balls of the feet like this. Having something under the heels allows you to relax into some variation of a resting squat. Even a stick or squatting on a slope can work as well. So from here, we're going to drive one knee forward. The other foot will turn out. We're traveling directly over the toes on this leg, so I'm not allowing my knee to fold in or fold out. Directly over the toes and very lightly touch that knee to the floor and then come back to the squat. Drive the knee forward, turn the other foot out, very lightly touch the floor and then come back. So the rule here is you're kneeling as if you were kneeling on someone or something that you cared about. Right, so if there was an eggshell on the floor there, I would touch it, I'd give it a little love tap, but I wouldn't break the shell. Don't slam the knee into the floor. Keeping the knee tracking over the toes will get that nice big toe stretch happening in that foot. And of course, this bit is the most difficult part, and that's why we slow it down and make sure we're controlling it. If this is impossible for you, you can assist with the tips of the fingers beside this knee. Or an intermediate step would be, if my left knee is going forward, I reach back and assist with my right hand on the floor behind me. And when the right knee goes forward, the left hand goes on the floor to assist with that last, controlling that last little bit of the movement. Not breaking the eggshell or whatever it is that you care about that you're kneeling on. Okay, next we'll actually sit down into the hands. Feet a little wider now. And from here, keeping one knee still, we'll take the other knee in to touch the floor and then out as far as possible, ideally to touch the floor, but without letting this knee move. So move in with one knee, touch the floor, out. Ideally that knee gets all the way down to the floor, but the other knee is not allowed to move. Okay, so if that constraint makes it too difficult, you just don't go as far down with the side you're moving, but you stick with this constraint of keeping the other knee still, not allowing it to follow. Yeah, so my right knee stays still as the left knee goes down toward the floor. Left knee stays still as the right knee goes down. Ideally touching the knee on the inside and the outside. Not quite possible for me today without letting that other knee move. So I won't, I just go as far as possible for today. Okay, good. Return to the squat. Find your comfortable resting squatting position again. And from here, we're going to send both knees directly forward over the toes. So there are a few versions again of assistance that you can provide. Send the knees forward, going directly forward, not folding in or out. Directly forward with your butt on the heels. Knees go forward. First variation of assistance, hands are on the floor beside the knees. Okay, second variation, the hands will be on the floor behind you. Very light contact, or the full version is unassisted. So send both knees forward together and very lightly touch them both to the floor at the same time. Once we come down, extend the hips, tuck the toes under, kneel down, sit back, hands on the floor, extend the hips up. And make sure you're not just extending the lower back here, you're actually extending at the hip. So you can contract the glutes to make sure that's happening. Squeeze the butt, sit back down, extend and come up, tuck the toes. And again, on the way up, we can use the fingertips beside the knees to come back into the squat, or we can use the fingertips behind to draw yourself off and come into the squat. Or you can do the full version, trying to draw both knees off simultaneously to come back into the squat. And then stand, squat all the way down, and I'm working with feet roughly hip width apart here. Send the knees forward, assist if you need to. Light contact to begin with, both knees together, drive the hips forward, feet under, kneel, sit back, extend the hips, squeeze the butt. You can get a nice hip flexor stretch there if you're doing that. Sit back down, come up, tuck the toes, assist if you need to have both knees come off the floor together, squat, stand, and again, squat, knees forward, assist if you need it, very light contact with the floor, then extend, tuck the toes and kneel, hands on the floor behind you as you sit back, extend the hips, back to kneeling, back to the half kneel, tuck the toes under, assist if you need it again, you can assist here, or perform without assistance if possible, and then stand again. Beautiful. So obviously you could perform more or less repetitions of any of those patterns. This is a great way to get the feet moving, to mobilize the toes, the ankles, the knees, and the hips.